Hi, this is Adrian with Invest NWI, Northwest Indiana's #1 source for off-market deals. Today I'm going to do the second part of our series on the county's websites for looking up property information. In the first one that I did, I talked about the assessor's website, and that's the website that we go to look up information about the house, the size of the house, the square footage, bedrooms, baths, when it was built, when the owner bought it, transferred it, etc. Today I am going to discuss the treasurer's website, and this is where you find the tax information. So the easiest way to find it is to do a Google search, Lake County Treasurer, and make sure that you put Indiana so you don't get Lake County, Illinois, and it will be the second search that comes up here. So if you're looking up a property, what you want to do is go ahead and click on tax search. There are a couple of ways that you can search for the property. You can search for it using the owner's name, the location address, the mailing address, or the parcel ID. I am going to search with the owner's name. Type in Region Home Buyers. That's one of the companies that we buy properties with. And I'll hit go. And I'm just going to select this first one here. Alright, so this is what you have here. So again, I did a search for Region Home Buyers. It showed that we own 2 properties. This first one that comes up, the location of the property is 1632 174th Street in Hammond. The name and address, this is where the tax bills are being sent to. In a situation where the owner also lives in the property, a lot of times you'll see the location and the mailing address as identical. Taxing unit is Hammond. One of the first things I look at is this first section here in Table 1 to show if it's taxed at 1%, 2%, or 3%. The majority of houses that are owner occupied will be at 1%. These are houses where the owner lives in the property and has filed a homestead exemption. If they forgot to file a homestead exemption or they own multiple properties, then it will be taxed at the 2% rate. So this property here, the guy that we bought it from did not live in the property, so he did not have any deductions on it. So his was taxed at 2%. The $48,200, that's the assessed value of this property. Now keep in mind the assessed value and the market value, the value that you could get selling it, are not the same. This property is worth close to $80,000, but it's assessed at $48,000. That's a good thing because the taxes are going to be lower than what it would be if it was assessed at its true market value. Now after deductions, this is the second part here, and we have 0 deductions here. You get your net assessed value. From that net value, that's how they determine the tax amount. So down here in part 5, the $1,390.54, that is the tax liability for this house. Table 3 here kind of breaks down where the taxes are going to. Table 4 here is any other charges. Pretty much every house in Lake County has this Little Cal River Basin tax of $45. Most cities have an additional $60 tax that they add on there. And occasionally you're going to see some other stuff in here. You might see a lien that was certified if you didn't pay your sewer bill and it went to certification. You may see a $500 sewer lien in there that's paid through the taxes. Table 5 here is the deductions, and again, because this was a non-owner occupied property, he did not have the homestead or any other deductions. If this was a property that the owner lived in, then they can get the homestead deduction, maybe a mortgage deduction over 65. These total deductions go back up into this line here to reduce the amount that's being taxed at. Finally, down here at the bottom, it shows the 2 installments, the spring installment, which is due in May, the fall installment, which is due in November. Right now, it's showing the taxes that were paid in 2016. Both installments were paid. Let's say this fall installment was not paid, you'd see the $725 down here. This box down here shows the previous year. In a couple of weeks, they will update this to show the 2017 taxes. Keep in mind the May payment that's going to be paid in a couple of weeks is the first half of the year for 2016, but we're paying it in 2017. Now let's say you're looking at a property and you want to keep it as a rental, and you're buying it from somebody who currently lives in it and they have all of the deductions. Their current tax rate is not where your tax rate is going to stay once those deductions fall off. An easy way to guesstimate what your taxes will be, let's say this $48,000 was here in the 1% bracket, and then you take off the deductions. All you have to do is simply take your $48,000, eliminate all of your deductions, multiply it by 2%, and that's a rough estimate of approximately what you're going to pay. So again, you can search for the property by the location address, the mailing address, owner name, parcel number, and up here this will link you back to the assessor site, which we talked about in the first video. This will link you to the GIS. So this is just a quick overview on the treasurer site where you're going to find all the tax information. In the third video, I will be talking about the recorder site, which is where you see mortgages, any liens, anything else that had been attached to the property. So come back next week for our third video. Thank you. Again, this is Adrian with Invest NWI, Northwest Indiana's #1 source for the best off-market real estate.